Jake Martinez wiped his sweaty hands on his jeans for the third time. The small black box in his pocket felt like it weighed 100 pounds. He sat across from Zara in their favorite corner booth at Murphy's Diner, watching her eat pancakes with that weird way she had of cutting them into perfect squares. 8 months ago, Jake thought he knew everything about love. He worked at Pete's auto shop, lived in a small apartment, and spent weekends drinking beer with his buddy Danny. Life was simple. Then Zara walked into the shop with a broken-down Honda and everything changed. She was different from other girls. Not just because she was beautiful, with her strange silver eyes and pale skin that never seemed to tan. She was smart in ways that made Jake feel stupid and excited at the same time. When she looked at engines, she saw things mechanics with 20 years of experience missed. She could fix problems just by touching parts with her bare hands. "Jake, you are staring at me again," Zara said without looking up from her pancakes. She smiled that small smile that made his heart race. "Can't help it," Jake said. His voice cracked like he was 16 again. "You're just, I know what." She looked at him with those silver eyes that seemed to see right through him. This was it. Now or never. Jake reached into his pocket and pulled out the ring box. His grandmother's diamond ring sat inside, small but real. He had saved for months to get it resized. "Zara," he started, then stopped. His mouth felt dry as sand. She put down her fork. Her eyes went wide when she saw the box. "I know we haven't been together that long," Jake said, the words rushing out. "But I love you. I love how you laugh at my stupid jokes. I love how you make my coffee better just by stirring it. I love that you can fix anything, including me when I'm being an idiot." Zara's hands covered her mouth. Jake couldn't tell if she was happy or scared. "I don't have much," he continued. "Just the shop job and a crappy apartment. But I want to share it all with you. Will you marry me?" He opened the box. The diamond caught the diner's fluorescent light and sparkled. For 10 seconds that felt like 10 hours. Zara said nothing. Jake's heart hammered against his ribs. Maybe he had read this all wrong. Maybe she was just being nice to the dumb human who fixed her car. Then she started crying. "Yes," she whispered. "Yes, Jake Martinez. I will marry you." Jake jumped up so fast he almost knocked over his coffee. Other people in the diner turned to stare, but he didn't care. He slipped the ring on her finger and kissed her right there in front of everyone. Old Murphy behind the counter started clapping, but when Jake sat back down, Zara wasn't smiling anymore. She was staring at the ring on her finger with a look he had never seen before. "Fear, maybe. Or guilt, Jake," she said slowly. "There is something I must tell you. Something important." "What is it?" Jake felt that cold feeling in his stomach that meant bad news was coming. Zara looked around the diner. Murphy was still grinning at them from behind the counter. The truck drivers at the next table were minding their own business. She leaned forward and spoke very quietly. "I am not human." Jake blinked. "What?" "I am not from Earth. I am from a planet called Kithera, very far from here." Jake laughed, but it came out weird and nervous. "Come on, Zara, this isn't funny." She held up her hand. Right there in front of him, her skin began to glow with a soft blue light. Her eyes turned completely silver, like mirrors. The glow faded after a few seconds, but Jake saw it. He definitely saw it. "Holy shit," he whispered. "My people sent me here to study humans," Zara continued. "But I was not supposed to fall in love. That was not part of the mission." Jake's brain felt like it was moving through thick mud. "You're an alien." "Yes, a real alien. From space." "Yes." "And you just said yes to marrying me?" "Yes." She reached across the table and took his hand. Her skin felt normal now, warm and soft. "I love you, Jake. That was not supposed to happen, but it did." Jake stared at their joined hands. The engagement ring looked so normal on her finger. So human. "There is more," Zara said. "In my culture, when one sister chooses a mate, the whole family comes to live with the new couple, to support the union and learn about the mate's people." "Okay," Jake said slowly. "How many sisters do you have?" "5. 5 sisters. Alien sisters. They are already on their way here. Their ship will arrive tonight." Jake looked around the diner again. Everything looked the same as it had 10 minutes ago, but everything was different. The ketchup bottles, the worn vinyl seats, the smell of bacon grease, it all felt like it belonged to another world. His world. The human world. "Jake?" Zara squeezed his hand. "Are you angry?" He thought about it. He should be angry or scared, or running out of the diner screaming about aliens. But when he looked at Zara's face, all he saw was the woman he loved. The woman who made him laugh, who fixed his truck when it broke down, who brought him soup when he was sick. "Are your sisters nice?" he asked. Zara's face lit up with relief. "They are wonderful. Very different from each other, but wonderful." "Do they like humans?" "They will love you because I love you." Jake nodded. "Okay then. I guess we better clean up my apartment. 5 alien sisters, huh?" "Jake Martinez," Zara said, and her voice was soft with wonder. "You are the most amazing human I have ever met." "Just wait until you meet Danny," Jake said. "He's going to flip out." As they left the diner, Jake's mind raced with questions. What did alien sisters eat? Where would they sleep? Did they have jobs? Did they know about toilets? But underneath all the worry was something else. Excitement. His life had just gotten very complicated, but also very interesting. He was going to marry an alien, and her family was coming to visit. Jake Martinez, small-town mechanic, was about to become the most important person he had never planned to be. Jake's apartment had never felt smaller. He stood in his living room at 2 a.m, watching 5 alien women materialize out of thin air right next to his coffee table. The blue light from their arrival made his cheap furniture look even cheaper. Zara stepped forward first. She looked different now, more confident, more alien. Behind her came her sisters, and Jake's mouth fell open. Luna was tall and muscled like a bodybuilder. Her dark hair was braided with what looked like metal threads. She wore black clothes that seemed to be made of the same material as bulletproof vests. Her eyes scanned Jake's apartment like she was looking for threats. Nova had white hair that moved by itself, floating around her head like she was underwater. Her skin was pale blue, and her fingers were longer than human fingers should be. She carried a bag that hummed and glowed. Stella looked the most human, with brown hair and normal clothes. But when she smiled at Jake, her teeth were too sharp and too white. She spoke with an accent he couldn't place. Cosmic was shorter than the others, with purple hair and arms covered in tattoos that moved across her skin like living things. She was already pulling strange tools out of her pockets and looking at Jake's electrical outlets. Aurora looked like a teenager, but Jake could tell she wasn't human either. Her eyes were too big and too green. She hid behind Zara and stared at Jake like he was the alien. "Jake," Zara said. "These are my sisters." Luna stepped forward and grabbed Jake's hand. Her grip could have crushed rocks. "You are the human who wants to mate with our sister." Yes, ma'am," Jake said. His hand felt numb. "You are smaller than I expected," Luna said, "and weaker. But Zara says you have a good heart." Nova floated over to Jake's kitchen and started examining his microwave. "Primitive technology," she muttered, "but interesting design principles." "Sister, be polite," Stella said. She walked up to Jake and did a little bow. "We are honored to meet you, Jake Martinez. Zara has told us many good things." Cosmic was already taking apart Jake's toaster. Sparks flew from her fingertips as she touched the wires. "This whole building's electrical system is ancient," she announced. "I can fix it." "Please don't fix anything," Jake said quickly. "My landlord gets upset about modifications." Aurora whispered something to Zara in a language that sounded like singing. "She wants to know if all humans are as nervous as you." Zara translated. "Pretty much," Jake said. "Especially when 5 aliens show up in their living room at 2 a.m. Luna looked around the apartment. "Where will we sleep?" Jake looked at his 1-bedroom apartment. His couch could maybe fit 1 person. His bedroom had space for his bed, and that was it. "I hadn't really thought about that. We do not require much rest," Nova said. She was now examining Jake's refrigerator. "Though we will need access to your food preparation area for nutritional analysis." "You eat human food?" Jake asked. "We can eat most organic matter," Stella explained, "though our digestive systems are more efficient than yours." Cosmic had somehow connected her strange tools to Jake's electrical panel. The lights in the apartment got brighter, and the air conditioner started running quieter. "Your power grid is fascinating," she said. "So inefficient, but you make it work anyway." Jake sat down hard on his couch. This was really happening. 5 alien women were in his apartment, taking apart his appliances and planning to sleep on his floor. "Are you well?" Aurora asked. She had crept closer while he wasn't looking. Her voice was soft and musical. "I'm fine," Jake lied. "Just trying to process everything." Luna sat down next to him. The couch creaked under her weight. "Humans process information differently than we do," she said. "Zara explained this to us. You use emotions to make decisions. Is that bad?" Jake asked. "Different," Luna said. "We use logic and data. But Zara says your emotions make you creative, make you do things that surprise even yourselves. Nova looked up from the refrigerator, where she was apparently scanning his leftover pizza. For example, you agreed to marry Zara even after learning she was not human. Logic says this is a poor decision. Too many unknown variables. But you did it anyway, Cosmic added. She had moved on to examining his television. Because you love her. Love is not logical, Stella said. But it is powerful. This is why the High Council sent us to study humans. Jake looked at Zara. She was watching him with those silver eyes, waiting to see how he would react to all this. The High Council? He asked. Our government, Zara explained. They want to understand how humans think, how you solve problems, how you survive even though you are not the strongest or smartest species. Thanks, Jake said dryly. Aurora giggled. It sounded like wind chimes. He makes jokes when he is scared, she observed. Like Zara said he would. I'm not scared, Jake protested. Luna raised one eyebrow. Your heart rate is elevated. Your skin temperature has increased. Your breathing is shallow. These are signs of fear in most species. Okay, I'm a little scared, Jake admitted. This is all pretty new to me. Fear is not weakness, Luna said. Fear keeps you alive. Smart creatures are afraid of things that can hurt them. Can you hurt me? Jake asked. The sisters looked at each other. Nova answered first. Physically, yes. Any of us could damage you without effort, but we will not harm our sister's chosen mate. What about emotionally? Jake asked. Are you going to try to talk her out of marrying me? Stella smiled, showing those sharp teeth again. We are here to learn about you, Jake Martinez. If you prove worthy of our sister, we will support the union. If not, she shrugged. How do I prove I'm worthy? Jake asked. By being yourself, Zara said. She sat down on his other side and took his hand. Just be the man I fell in love with. Cosmic had successfully connected something to his television. The screen now showed what looked like a star map. Your entertainment systems are primitive but functional, she announced. I have improved the resolution and added access to galactic communication networks. Please tell me you didn't hack into anything illegal, Jake said. Define illegal, Cosmic replied. Jake decided not to ask for details. Nova emerged from the kitchen carrying a sandwich she had apparently made from his leftover turkey. Your food preparation methods are crude but effective, she announced. This sandwich is adequate. Glad you approve, Jake said. Aurora was now sitting on the floor near Jake's feet, looking up at him with those huge green eyes. Zara says you fix machines, she said. Like Cosmic does. Sort of, Jake said. I work on cars mostly. Cars are beautiful, Aurora said. So many moving parts working together. Like a metal animal. I never thought of it that way, Jake said. But she was right. Cars were kind of like metal animals. Luna stood up and walked to the window. She looked out at the street below, watching the few cars that passed by. This is a quiet place, she observed. Safe. It's not the most exciting neighborhood, Jake said. But it's home. Home, Aurora repeated. Zara says this word is important to humans. Very important, Jake said. Home is where you belong, where people care about you. The sisters looked at each other again. Jake was starting to recognize that look. It meant they were communicating in some way he couldn't understand. We understand now why Zara chose you, Stella said finally. You offer her something we cannot. What's that? Jake asked. A home, Aurora said softly. Jake looked around his small, messy apartment, at the sisters who had traveled across space to be here, at Zara who was still holding his hand. Well, he said, I guess it's our home now. 2 weeks later, Jake's life had become completely insane. Luna had accidentally destroyed his bathroom door during what she called light morning exercises. Nova had turned his kitchen into a science lab that produced food that tasted amazing but glowed in the dark. Stella had somehow convinced his cranky neighbor, Mrs. Peterson, to let the sisters use her backyard for cultural exchange meetings. Cosmic had rewired his entire building, making everyone's electricity bills disappear, but causing the streetlights to flash in patterns. Aurora had befriended every dog in the neighborhood, and they now followed her around like she was their pack leader. Jake was getting used to it. Sort of. He was at work when Danny Sullivan walked into Pete's auto shop carrying 2 cups of coffee and a confused expression. Dude, Danny said, setting a coffee on Jake's workbench. There are 5 supermodels living in your apartment building, and Mrs. Peterson says they're your in-laws. Jake looked up from the engine he was rebuilding. Danny was his best friend, a former Marine who now worked construction. He was also the most practical person Jake knew. If anyone could handle the truth about the sisters, it would be Danny. They're not supermodels, Jake said. They're aliens. Danny stared at him. What? Zara's from another planet? So are her sisters. They're here because we're engaged. Jake, buddy, you've been working too hard. Maybe you should take a vacation. Jake sighed. He had expected this reaction. Luna's in the apartment right now. Come meet her. She'll convince you. The tall one with the muscles? That's her. Danny shrugged. Okay, I'll play along. But if this is some weird joke, I'm making you pay for lunch for a month. They walked to Jake's apartment building. Jake could hear the sound of metal hitting metal from 3 blocks away. When they got to his apartment, Luna was in the backyard practicing with what looked like a sword made of blue light. She was fighting invisible enemies, moving faster than any human could move. The light sword cut through the air with a sound like thunder. When she saw Jake and Danny, she made the sword disappear. Jake, she said, not even breathing hard. Who is your friend? Danny's mouth was hanging open. Holy shit, he whispered. Luna, this is Danny Sullivan. Danny, meet Luna. Luna walked over and stuck out her hand. Danny shook it automatically, then winced when she squeezed. You are a warrior, Luna said. It wasn't a question. Ex-Marine, Danny managed, I can tell. You move like someone who has seen battle. Your scars tell stories. Luna was looking at the old bullet wound on Danny's arm and the knife scar on his neck. Would you like to spar? Spar? Danny squeaked. Practice fighting. I need to understand human combat techniques. Luna, maybe start with something smaller, Jake suggested. Danny's still getting used to the idea that you exist. Nova appeared in the doorway. Her white hair was floating around her head, and she was carrying a device that beeped and hummed. Jake, I need to discuss your friend's biological readings. My what now? Danny asked. Your stress hormones are elevated, but your curiosity levels are higher than your fear levels. This is unusual for humans encountering unknown species. I'm sorry, who are you? Danny asked. Nova. I study things. She pointed the device at Danny and it made new sounds. Interesting. You have been exposed to significant trauma but have adapted well. Your neural patterns suggest high adaptability. She's analyzing your brain, Jake explained. It's what she does. Cosmic poked her head out of the basement door. Jake, I finished upgrading the building's electrical system. Your neighbors will now have power that never goes out and internet that's faster than anything on Earth. Cosmic, I told you not to upgrade things without asking. But it was broken, Cosmic protested. I cannot leave broken things broken. Stella emerged from the front of the building with Mrs. Peterson, who was smiling and carrying a plate of cookies. Danny. Mrs. Peterson called out. Come meet Stella. She's teaching me about alien diplomacy. Mrs. Peterson, you're taking this very well, Danny said weakly. At my age, dear, you learn to roll with the punches. Besides, Stella helped me get my insurance company to pay for my new roof. Aurora came around the corner followed by 6 dogs of various sizes. Jake. Nova's food made the dogs very happy. They want to live here now. Jake looked at Danny, who was staring at the scene with wide eyes. So, Jake said, still think they're supermodels? Danny sat down heavily on the back steps. They're really aliens, Jake confirmed. And you're marrying one of them. Zara, the one who's not here right now because she's at the library, learning about human wedding customs. Danny was quiet for a long moment. Then he started laughing. Jake Martinez, you absolute madman. You're marrying an alien and her sisters are taking over the neighborhood. Pretty much. And Mrs. Peterson is okay with this. More than okay. I think she likes having someone to talk to about her soap operas. Danny stood up and walked over to Luna. So, about that sparring offer. Luna's face lit up. You wish to fight? I wish to not embarrass myself too badly, Danny said. But yeah, let's see what you've got. What followed was the most one-sided fight Jake had ever seen. Luna moved like water and hit like a truck, but Danny was tough and smart, and he didn't give up even when it was obvious he was outmatched. After Luna had gently but thoroughly defeated Danny for the 3rd time, she helped him to his feet. You fight well for a human, she said. You do not give up even when victory is impossible. Marines don't surrender, Danny gasped. This is good. Surrender is for those who have nothing worth fighting for. Nova was scanning Danny again. His determination levels are off the charts. Even when facing superior strength and speed, he continued to adapt his strategy. Humans are weird that way, Jake said. We're too stubborn to know when we're beaten. Not weird, Stella corrected. Remarkable. Most species submit when faced with overwhelming force. Humans find ways to keep fighting. Or find ways to make friends with the overwhelming force, Cosmic added. She was now examining Danny's truck and making approving noises. Aurora was sitting with the dogs, but she was watching Danny with interest. Are all human warriors like this one? She asked. Danny's special, Jake said. But yeah, most humans don't back down easy. This explains much about your species' history, Nova said. You should not have survived as long as you have, but you refuse to follow logical predictions. Logic's overrated, Danny said. He was grinning despite being thoroughly beaten up. Sometimes you just have to wing it and hope for the best. Luna nodded seriously. Wing it. I like this phrase. That evening, Jake sat on his couch between Zara and Aurora while the other sisters scattered around the small apartment. Danny had stayed for dinner, fascinated by Nova's glowing food and cosmic stories about fixing spaceships. Your friend adapts quickly, Zara observed. Danny's good people, Jake said. He doesn't freak out about things he can't change. This is why humans are so interesting, Stella said. You adapt instead of breaking. We break sometimes, Jake said. But we usually find ways to fix ourselves afterward. Or friends who help fix us, Danny added. He was sitting on the floor, letting Aurora braid small metal ornaments into his hair, while 3 dogs slept on his feet. Luna was sharpening her light sword in the corner. I understand now why Zara chose this one, she said, nodding at Jake. He is not the strongest or fastest, but he does not break under pressure. And he makes excellent coffee, Nova added. She was drinking her 4th cup of the evening. And he lets us tear apart his appliances, Cosmic said happily. And he shares his home, Aurora said softly. Jake looked around at his crowded, chaotic, wonderful apartment. Best decision I ever made, he said. Zara squeezed his hand. Even though we ruined your quiet life? Jake thought about his old life. Coming home to an empty apartment, eating dinner alone, spending weekends with nothing to do but watch television and fix things. What quiet life? He asked. Jake woke up to the sound of explosions. He rolled out of bed and ran to the window. 3 black ships hung in the sky above his neighborhood like metal storms. Red lights flashed from their bottoms, scanning the streets below. Zara, he shouted. She was already awake, standing in the living room with her sisters. They all looked terrified. They found us, Luna said. Her voice was flat and dangerous. Who found you? Jake asked, pulling on his pants. The High Command, Stella said. They have come to take us back. And to eliminate the contamination, Nova added quietly. What contamination? Jake asked, though he was pretty sure he already knew the answer. You, Aurora whispered. They think humans will make us weak. One of the ships landed in the street outside Jake's building. The impact shattered windows and set off car alarms. Soldiers in silver armor poured out, carrying weapons that hummed with energy. We have to run, Zara said. Where? Jake asked. Those ships can probably see us from space. Luna drew her light sword. We fight? Against an entire fleet? Stella shook her head. Sister, even you cannot defeat a Catherian battle group. Jake's phone rang. It was Danny. Jake, what the hell is happening out here? There are spaceships in the street and soldiers with laser guns. Where are you? Jake asked Mrs. Peterson's basement. She says it used to be a bomb shelter, built during the Cold War. How many people can it hold? She says about 20, why? Jake looked at the sisters.
Can your people track you underground?
Not through significant amounts of concrete and metal, Nova said. But they will search every building. Then we don't give them time to search. Jake grabbed his jacket. Luna, how many soldiers came out of that ship? 20, perhaps 25. And they're used to fighting other aliens, right? People who fight like you fight? Luna nodded. Standard Catherian combat doctrine. Overwhelming force applied with precision. Good. Danny, meet us in Mrs. Peterson's basement. Bring anyone else you can find. They made it to Mrs. Peterson's house through her backyard. The old woman was waiting for them with a shotgun and a grim expression. Aliens invading my neighborhood, she muttered. I lived through the Cuban Missile Crisis for this nonsense. Danny was already in the basement with 3 other neighbors. Mr. Rodriguez from next door, the college kid from upstairs whose name Jake never remembered, and Betty Collins from down the street. "Jake, what's the plan?" Danny asked. "The plan is to be human," Jake said. The sisters stared at him. "What does that mean?" Zara asked. "It means we don't fight fair, we don't follow rules, and we definitely don't do what they expect us to do." A voice boomed from outside, speaking in a language that sounded like music made of metal. The sisters went very still. "Commander Vex," Luna said. "He was Zara's intended mate before she came to Earth. He is demanding that we surrender," Stella translated. "He says the humans will not be harmed if we comply." "Do you believe him?" Jake asked. "No," all 5 sisters said at the same time. "Then we don't surrender." Jake turned to the group of humans. "Anyone here know about guerrilla warfare?" Danny raised his hand. "Afghanistan, 2 tours. Mr. Rodriguez, you used to be a cop, right?" 20 years until I retired." "Betty, didn't you work for the phone company?" 40 years. I know every underground cable and tunnel in this city." Jake grinned. "Perfect. Nova, can you scan those ships? Find weak points?" Nova pulled out her device. "Already scanning. Their shields are designed to deflect energy weapons and kinetic projectiles, but they are not shielded against electromagnetic interference." "Cosmic, can you cause electromagnetic interference?" Cosmic's eyes lit up. "Can I cause electromagnetic interference?" "Jake, I can turn this entire neighborhood into an electronic dead zone." "Do it." "But that will shut down everything," the college kid protested. "Cars, phones, everything." "Good," Jake said. "Their equipment will go down too. Levels the playing field." Cosmic connected her tools to Mrs. Peterson's electrical panel. Sparks flew and the lights went out. Outside, they heard the sound of ship engines sputtering and dying. "Phase 1 complete," Jake said. "Luna, can you take on their soldiers in the dark?" "In darkness with no technology to assist them? I could defeat twice their number." "Danny, Mr. Rodriguez, you're with Luna. Use your knowledge of urban combat. Hit and run, never stay in one place." "What about the rest of us?" Zara asked. "Betty's going to show us the tunnels. We're going to move through the city underground and hit them from directions they don't expect." "This is a terrible plan," Stella said. "Probably," Jake agreed. "That's what makes it human." They split up. Luna, Danny, and Mr. Rodriguez disappeared into the dark streets. Betty led Jake, Zara, Nova, Cosmic, Aurora, and the college kid through a maintenance tunnel that connected to the old subway system. "These tunnels go everywhere," Betty explained as they crawled through narrow concrete passages, water, gas, electric phone lines. "The city's like a body, and these are the arteries." Nova was scanning constantly. 3 ships are still airborne, but their sensors are compromised. Ground forces are moving in standard search patterns. "Standard patterns are predictable," Jake said. "Cosmic, can you do something about their communication?" "Already on it." Cosmic was typing on a device connected to a thick cable, tapping into the fiber optic network. "I can scramble their signals and make them think they're getting orders they're not getting." They emerged from the tunnel 6 blocks away, behind the Catherian forces. Jake could see soldiers in silver armor moving carefully through the dark streets, their weapons providing the only light. "They're scared," Aurora observed. "They cannot see in darkness like we can." "Fear makes people make mistakes," Jake said. "Zara, can you get close enough to overhear their communications?" "Yes, but it is dangerous. Everything we're doing is dangerous." "But they're not expecting stealth. They're expecting you to fight like Catherians." Zara slipped away into the darkness. She moved like a shadow, silent and invisible. Jake watched her go and felt a mix of pride and terror. "She will be safe," Aurora said quietly. "Zara is the smartest of us." "Smart enough to fall in love with a human," Nova added. "Which the High Command considers a serious error in judgment." "Their loss," Jake said. Cosmic looked up from her device. "I have access to their command frequency. Do you want to hear what they are saying?" Jake nodded. Cosmic adjusted her device and alien voices filled the tunnel, speaking in harsh musical tones. "They are confused," Aurora translated. "Their equipment is not working as expected. They cannot locate us or communicate with their ships." "Good. That's the point." Jake's phone buzzed. A text from Danny. "Took out a patrol. These guys fight like robots. No creativity. Moving to position 3. Another text from Luna. "Enemy soldiers are predictable. They follow patterns even when patterns do not work. Very strange. They're not used to fighting humans," Jake explained to the sisters. We don't fight the way they expect. How do humans fight? Nova asked. However we have to, Jake said. We cheat, we lie, we use the environment against our enemies. We fight dirty and we don't quit. Zara appeared out of the darkness like a ghost. I have information, she said. Commander Vex is ordering his forces to search every building systematically. He believes we are hiding and will eventually be found. How long before they search the whole neighborhood? Jake asked. At their current pace, perhaps 2 hours. Then we don't wait 2 hours. Jake turned to the group. Time for the crazy part of the plan. This was not the crazy part, Cosmic asked. This was the warm-up. Jake pulled out his phone and sent a message to Danny and Luna. Phase 2. Make some noise. What happened next was beautiful chaos. Danny and Luna started hitting patrols all over the neighborhood, never staying in one place long enough to get caught. Each attack came from a different direction, using different tactics. Meanwhile, Cosmic had turned the Catherians' own technology against them. She sent false orders through their communication system, directing patrols to empty buildings and causing confusion in their ranks. Betty led them through more tunnels, emerging behind the command ship that had landed in Jake's street. Nova scanned it and found exactly what Jake had hoped for. The main ship has a manual override for the entire fleet, she reported. If we can reach the command center, we can shut down all their ships at once. How many guards? Jake asked. 6, maybe 8. Armed with energy weapons that don't work properly in this electromagnetic interference? Correct. Jake looked at his small group of humans and aliens. An old lady, a college student, a mechanic, and 4 alien sisters who were supposed to be helpless without their technology. You know what? He said. I like our chances. The command ship looked like a metal cathedral that had crash-landed in Jake's street. Its doors were sealed, but Cosmic made quick work of the locking mechanism, while Nova kept watch for guards. 8 soldiers inside, Nova whispered. 2 in the command center, 6 patrolling the ship. Standard patrol pattern? Jake asked. Very standard. Good. Predictable is good. They slipped inside through a maintenance hatch that Cosmic had opened. The ship's interior was all smooth curves and soft lighting, but the electromagnetic interference had dimmed most of the controls. Jake led them through corridors that felt too tall and too wide for humans. Everything was designed for people taller than Earth people, which made sneaking around easier. They found the first 2 guards in a hallway, standing at attention like statues. Jake signaled for everyone to wait, then picked up a piece of loose metal and threw it down a side corridor. Both guards went to investigate the noise, just like Jake hoped they would. While they were gone, the group slipped past their position. They are not very smart, Aurora whispered. They're not used to thinking for themselves, Zara explained. Catherian soldiers follow orders and procedures. They do not improvise. Lucky for us, Jake said. They reached the command center without being spotted. Through a window, Jake could see Commander Vex standing in front of a large display screen. He was tall and pale, wearing black armor decorated with silver symbols. Next to him stood one other officer. Zara, Vex was saying in English. I know you can hear me. Come out and we will discuss this situation like civilized beings. He speaks English? Jake whispered. All commanders do, Stella said. He studied Earth languages when he learned Zara was assigned here. Zara, you have been contaminated by primitive emotions, Vex continued. But you can be healed. Return to your proper place and we will overlook this temporary madness. Jake felt anger rising in his chest. Contaminated? Temporary madness? He means our love, Zara said quietly. To him, human emotions are a disease. Your human mate will be disposed of quickly and painlessly, Vex said, as will any other humans who have been exposed to you. This contamination cannot be allowed to spread, that did it. Jake had heard enough. Nova, can you override their systems from here? If I can reach that control panel, yes. Cosmic, can you cause a distraction? What kind of distraction? The kind that makes a lot of noise and draws everyone away from here. Cosmic grinned. I can make their ship think it is under attack by a much larger force. Do it. Cosmic plugged her devices into a wall panel. Suddenly, alarms started blaring throughout the ship. Red lights flashed and a voice spoke in the Catherian language. Warning, Aurora translated. Multiple enemy ships detected. All personnel to battle stations. They could hear boots running through the corridors as guards rushed to defend against an attack that did not exist. Now, Jake said. They burst into the command center. Vex spun around, his hand moving to his weapon. But Jake was faster. He tackled the alien commander while Nova and Cosmic rushed to the control panels. Vex was stronger than Jake, but he fought like he was following a manual. Jake fought like a man defending his family, which meant he fought dirty. He used his knees, his elbows, his teeth. He grabbed whatever he could reach and hit wherever it looked like it would hurt. You fight without honor. Vex gasped as they wrestled on the floor. I fight to win, Jake replied, punching him in what he hoped was the alien equivalent of a solar plexus. The other officer tried to help his commander, but Aurora and Stella stopped him. Aurora used some kind of martial art that looked like dancing, while Stella just talked to him very quickly in Cytherian. Whatever she said made him sit down and put his hands up. I told him that resisting would be illogical since we had already won, Stella explained. Have we won? Jake asked. He was still wrestling with Vex, who was proving to be very difficult to keep down. Working on it, Nova said. Her fingers flew over the alien controls. Their command systems are more complex than I expected. Let me help, Cosmic said. She connected her tools to the ship's main computer. Sometimes you have to speak to machines in their own language. The ship shuddered and all the lights went out except for emergency lighting. What did you do? Vex demanded. I told your fleet to go home, Cosmic said cheerfully. All ships are now returning to Cytherian space. Impossible. Only I can give that order. You just did, Nova said. She showed him the communication log. According to your own computer, you sent the retreat order 30 seconds ago. Jake could see Vex's face change as he realized what had happened. You cannot do this. The High Command will send more ships. Maybe, Jake said. But by then we'll be ready for them. You are one primitive human. What can you do against the might of the Cytherian Empire? Jake looked around at the alien sisters who had become his family. At Betty, who was calmly keeping watch at the door. At the college kid who was recording everything on his phone. You want to know what I can do? Jake asked. I can love your daughter better than you ever did. I can give her a home where she's free to make her own choices. I can show her that there's more to life than following orders and being logical all the time. Love is weakness, Vex said. Love is strength, Zara said. She had been quiet during the fight, but now she stepped forward. Jake taught me that. His love made me brave enough to choose my own path. And our love for Zara made us brave enough to help her, Luna added. She had appeared in the doorway with Danny and Mr. Rodriguez, both of whom looked like they had been in several fights. How many guards did you take down? Jake asked. All of them, Danny said. Turns out they're not very good at fighting in the dark against people who know the neighborhood. Vex looked around the room at the humans and aliens working together. This is not possible. Humans are primitive, weak. Humans are awesome, Aurora said. She was sitting on the defeated officer's shoulders like he was a chair. They do not give up. They do not follow rules that do not make sense. They choose love over logic. And logic says that makes them strong, not weak, Nova added. I have been studying human behavior for weeks. Their emotional responses allow for creative problem solving that pure logic cannot achieve. They adapt faster than any species I have studied, Stella said. When faced with the impossible, they find a way to make it possible. They fixed our ship when our own engineers could not, Cosmic said. Jake knew things about machines that we had forgotten. And they welcomed us into their family without asking for anything in return, Zara finished. Jake did not care that I was alien. He only cared that I was happy. Vex was quiet for a long moment. Then he laughed, but it was not a happy sound. You are all contaminated. The High Command will never allow this. Then maybe it is time for a new High Command, Luna said quietly. Outside, they could hear the sound of ships leaving Earth's atmosphere. Jake walked to the window and watched the alien fleet disappear into the night sky. So what happens now? He asked. Now we plan a wedding, Zara said. What about the High Command? Won't they send more ships? Eventually, Stella said. But we have time, and we have something they do not expect. What's that? We have humans, Aurora said with a smile. 3 months later, Jake stood in Mrs. Peterson's backyard wearing his father's old suit and watching Zara walk toward him in a dress that Nova had designed and Cosmic had somehow made from starlight and silk. The wedding was small but perfect. Danny was the best man. Luna, Nova, Stella, Cosmic, and Aurora were the bridesmaids. Mrs. Peterson officiated because she had gotten ordained online specifically for this occasion. Betty Collins took pictures. Mr. Rodriguez provided security, though it probably was not needed. The Catherian Empire had not sent more ships. According to the messages the sisters had been receiving, there was some kind of political upheaval happening back home. It seemed that news of humans and their strange ways had reached other planets, and many species were starting to question why they had to follow the High Command's rules about emotions and individual choice. "Do you, Jake Martinez, take this alien woman to be your wife?" Mrs. Peterson asked. "I do," Jake said. "Do you, Zara of the House of Kyriel, take this human man to be your husband?" "I do," Zara said. "Then by the power vested in me by the internet and the state of Arizona, I pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride." Jake kissed his alien wife while their alien and human family cheered. It was the best moment of his life. Later, as the party was winding down, Jake sat on his back steps with Danny and Luna, drinking beer and watching Cosmic show the neighborhood kids how to make fireworks that wrote words in the air. "So," Danny said, "any regrets about the quiet life?" Jake looked at his wife, who was teaching Mrs. Peterson how to make Cytherian food that glowed. At Aurora, who was surrounded by every dog in the neighborhood. At Nova, who was explaining quantum physics to Betty Collins. At Stella, who was somehow mediating a dispute between Mr. Rodriguez and the college kid. "What quiet life?" Jake asked. In the distance, a ship landed in the empty lot behind the grocery store. 3 more alien families had heard about the human who had married a Cytherian and wanted to see for themselves what all the fuss was about. Jake Martinez, small-town mechanic, was about to become the most important person he had never planned to be, and he could not wait to see what happened next.